You can say it 1,000 times, tackle the football, and it's still going to feel like yelling into a void unless something actually changes. That's the mood again this week for Steelers fans, players, and maybe even the coaching staff. It's not just about saying the right things anymore. It's about making them mean something. Because at this point, repeating mantras isn't fixing the growing list of issues on defense, and Sunday's clash against the Patriots could end up just adding more fuel to that fire. Now, let's be real here. We need to stop asking how things unraveled against the Jets, or how it happened against Seattle. Because what we're seeing now isn't a mystery, it's a pattern. A bad one. This defense has now gone 10 straight games. Yes, 10. Allowing at least 300 yards of offense to their opponents. That includes the back half of last season and the playoff nightmare against Baltimore. And within that stretch, it's not like they've just barely crossed the threshold either. The average? 362 yards per game. That's not just a few bad weeks. That's a full-blown identity crisis. We talk about the Jets and Seahawks getting close to 400 like it's shocking, like it's a one-time thing. But maybe we've been fooling ourselves. Maybe this is just who they've become, a defense that used to be feared, now struggling to keep the ball in front of them. This is no longer a small sample size. We're basically talking about the statistical equivalent of a full NFL season. And if we look back at when things started to slip, late last year, right around the time the team sat at 10 wins and 3 losses, the cracks weren't so obvious. Back then, the defense was still producing. They were top 10 overall, top 5 against the run. And then came the Philadelphia game, and from there it all began to unravel. And to this day, the pieces haven't really been put back together. Now, sure, we can point fingers. That's the easy part. You can question the coaching staff, Mike Tomlin, Terrell Austin, all of them. You can say the schemes are outdated, that the players are being put in the wrong positions. But here's the uncomfortable truth that's starting to settle in. The stars, the guys this defense was built around, aren't producing. Not even close. T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Jalen Ramsey. Those are your franchise names. Those are the guys who are supposed to set the tone. T.J. hasn't recorded a sack in 6 games. That includes the playoff loss. 2 quarterback hits. That's it. For someone with his resume, that's unheard of. And sure, teams are running away from him, avoiding his side, getting the ball out faster. That's fair. But even with all that, we've never seen this kind of drought from TJ. Not in his prime. Not with his talent. Cam Hayward, 7 games, 0 sacks, 5.5 run stuffs, which, okay, that's something. But still, no fumbles forced, no recoveries, and 5 passes defensed. And even those came mostly in one single game against Cincinnati. That's not dominance. That's a veteran showing signs of decline, or maybe a player still fighting his way back from injury and not quite making it. And then there's Ramsey. Different case, sure. He's got here. He doesn't have the same sample size with the Steelers as the other two. And yes, there have been some splash plays, the monster hits in East Rutherford, that pick last week. But there's a flip side, because when the Seahawks came into town, they didn't avoid him. They attacked him. Hard. 11 targets, 9 completions, 128 yards, an average of over 14 yards per attempt. Not per completion, per attempt. That's not shut-down corner stuff. That's not what was advertised when he got brought in. So what do we make of it? Is it scheme? Is it poor tackling? Are the guys just not playing with the same fire? Cam himself spoke about it this week, about needing to get back to basics, about tackling better, setting the edge, coming downhill with urgency. That's not revolutionary stuff. That's the foundation. And the fact that it's being said out loud tells you everything you need to know about where this group is mentally. They're not executing the fundamentals. But let's also not pretend like the names on this roster aren't part of the problem. This defense wasn't built around potential. It was built around proven production, around all pros, around guys with reputations for showing up when it matters. And right now, those reputations are outpacing reality. You don't get the benefit of the doubt forever. At some point, performances have to match the expectations. It's easy to blame the defensive coordinator. It's easy to say Tomlin needs to intervene more. And maybe he does. Maybe the whole thing needs a shake-up from the top down. But in the NFL, where execution is everything, you can't ignore the players, especially the ones who are supposed to be carrying the load. And look, it's not just those three. The linebackers haven't looked sharp either. Patrick Queen, Peyton Wilson, and when Cole Holcomb finally gets back out there, they all need to show more downhill aggression, more confidence in filling those gaps. Too often, it looks like they're guessing. Meanwhile, opposing running backs are hitting those same lanes with conviction and gashing this defense in the process. Keanu Benton has to figure it out. There's no other way to say it. He's a guy that was supposed to be ascending. Instead, he's either plateaued or regressed. And if that's the case, it might be time to start giving someone else a chance. The same goes for Darius Slay, who came in with top-tier coverage stats from Philadelphia but hasn't come close to replicating that here. And Juan Thornhill, if communication on the back end doesn't improve, it's going to be another week of busted coverages and walk-in touchdowns like we saw last time out. The truth is, this defense was never meant to just be solid. That's not what was promised. This group was built to be dominant, to carry this team if needed, and to give them a chance to win ugly games when the offense wasn't clicking. That hasn't happened. Not even close. Forget the talk about the offense for a moment. The blocking, the run game, the quarterback play, none of that is going to matter if this defense can't get off the field. If they can't hold teams under 300 yards. If they can't find ways to pressure the quarterback or create turnovers. The whole plan this year, from roster construction to game script, was based on one assumption, that the defense would be elite. Not average. Not good. Elite. When people throw around terms like historic to describe what this group was supposed to be, they weren't talking about giving up historic yardage totals or being remembered for all the wrong reasons. They were supposed to dominate. Instead, they look lost. And no amount of pre-game speeches, press conference quotes, or padded resumes is going to change that. Not unless the guys wearing the jerseys decide it's time to start living up to their own standards. Because this isn't about reputation anymore. This is about reality. And reality doesn't lie. And even if the coaching improves, even if the game plan is sharper, the rotations make more sense, the calls are better timed, none of it matters unless the players execute. None of it matters unless the fire returns. Cam said himself, this isn't about the scheme. This is about winning at the point of attack, getting off blocks, setting a physical tone from the first snap. You don't need a new playbook to make a tackle. You don't need a genius-level coordinator to fill a gap or take the right pursuit angle. This is about will. This is about pride. You walk into that facility in Pittsburgh, and you're surrounded by the echoes of what this franchise used to stand for. Defense, toughness, relentless, violent, smart football. That identity wasn't built in marketing meetings or press conferences. It was built on Sundays by players who didn't need to be told to get back to basics because they never left them. And now here we are, in a season that was supposed to be defined by defensive greatness, trying to figure out how it all fell apart so quickly. Because let's not pretend like this was supposed to be a rebuild. This roster was loaded. Everyone saw it. From the front office to the fan base, this defense was viewed as the strength of the team. The offense was always going to be a question mark, but the defense was supposed to cover the flaws. That's what makes this collapse even harder to explain. You don't bring in Patrick Queen, Jalen Ramsey, and Keanu Benton to tread water. You do it to dominate. But domination has been nowhere in sight. Instead, it's been blown assignments, missed tackles, soft edges, and very few impact plays. And sure, you can talk about injuries. Every team deals with that. You could say some guys are still getting used to the system. Fine. But the core of this defense, the names that were supposed to be leading the way, are on the field. And yet the results haven't followed. If anything, they've regressed. If we're being honest, there's not a single unit on this defense that has consistently delivered what was expected. The front isn't getting consistent pressure. The linebackers aren't making splash plays. The secondary is getting picked on, not feared. And when they do make a play here or there, it's almost always offset by the next drive where everything collapses again. There's no rhythm, no continuity, just scattered moments of competence buried beneath long stretches of mediocrity. The Seahawks knew what they were doing. They came in with a plan. Target Ramsey. Test the safeties. Stretch the linebackers horizontally. Make the Steelers chase instead of attack. And it worked. Sam Darnold, yes, Sam Darnold, looked comfortable and composed, picking apart the defense like he was in a walkthrough. That's not just coaching. That's execution. That's effort. That's a defense that looks unprepared, flat, and lacking urgency. You want to fix that? Start by getting back to real football. Line up, beat the man in front of you, and make the tackle. No more arm tackles. No more over-pursuing. No more blown, contain, or getting washed out of the play. It's not flashy, but it's what this team needs. Because as much as people want to talk about the offensive struggles, and yes, they're real, it's the defense that has set this team back. The defense that was supposed to be the rock. And that rock has cracked wide open. This Sunday isn't just another regular season game. It's a gut check. You're going to Foxborough, facing a Patriots team that's vulnerable, that doesn't have a high-powered offense that's ripe for a statement game. If you're going to reset the tone of your season, it has to start here. Not with a decent showing, not with a couple of takeaways, but with a full, four-quarter display of dominance. The kind of performance this defense was built to deliver. You got guys like TJ Watt who are still capable of taking over a game. But the clock is ticking, and the longer this funk continues, the harder it's going to be to dig out of it. You've got Cam Hayward, a leader, a veteran, someone who knows what it takes. But leadership only works if the body follows the voice. And then there's Ramsey, trying to prove that he can be more than just a guy who made a couple of highlight plays. He needs to be feared again. Opposing quarterbacks need to think twice before targeting him. That's not happening right now. This defense doesn't need a miracle. It needs urgency. It needs accountability. It needs to get angry. Angry at how far they've fallen. Angry at being called soft. Angry at letting teams hang around who have no business competing. Because until that edge returns, every offense that steps on the field is going to believe they have a shot. And right now, they do. This unit wasn't assembled to keep games close. It was built to end them, to suffocate teams, to break wills. And it still can, if the names on the back of the jerseys start matching the energy we use to associate with them. It's not about what they've done before. It's about what they do next. And if they don't turn it around now, in a game that's practically begging for a bounce back, then when? Because the NFL doesn't wait. The season moves on, and the window to be special closes faster than most realize. That window is still cracked open, but only just. And if this defense doesn't slam it shut on the Patriots this weekend, then maybe the rest of the league was right. Maybe this unit isn't what we thought it was. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comment below. Shockwaves are rattling the NFL as whispers of locker room tensions now seem to be spilling into the spotlight. Sources close to the team suggest that linebacker Patrick Queen, known for his fiery competitiveness on the field, didn't hold back during a recent press session, reportedly taking aim at none other than Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin. "You have no authority," Queen allegedly shouted, according to insiders who were present, sparking immediate speculation about fractures within the organization. While Tomlin has long been regarded as a steady hand, commanding respect across decades, this unprecedented outburst has left analysts and fans alike questioning whether the usual calm demeanor has been tested to its limits. The incident, although officially unconfirmed in full by the team, has ignited social media discussions, with fans dissecting every gesture and word. Some argue Queen's statement reflects the frustration of a young player who feels underutilized, while others speculate it could be part of a larger strategic ploy. After all, in today's NFL, drama often fuels performance. Rival teams, meanwhile, are said to be quietly monitoring the situation, aware that internal discord can sometimes translate to unexpected advantages on the field. Veteran commentators are already comparing this to some of the league's most notorious player-coach clashes, noting that while bold statements can ignite controversy, they also carry the potential to backfire spectacularly. Could this be the start of a full-blown locker room mutiny, or is it simply a momentary flare of passion from a player driven to prove himself? With the playoffs looming and every game scrutinized, the timing could hardly be more dramatic. As the story unfolds, all eyes remain fixed on how Tomlin will respond. Will he assert his legendary authority, Or will Queen's challenge mark the beginning of a tense new chapter? Either way, the rumor mill is already running wild, and fans can expect heated debates to continue long after the whistle blows. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.